Okay, so if you want to be a part of the show, you can call us on 091-538-77-127. I take that again. 091-538-77-127. And if you want to send a message to us on WhatsApp, you can send it to us on 009-9120-777. 009-9120-777. Am I too fast? Okay, 7. Am I too fast? Okay, I'll take it again. 009-9120-777. Okay, so let's set the ball rolling. Yesterday, was Tuesday, and we had, a very lengthy discussion. And this was quite insightful, because a lot of these things, if we don't have the knowledge, about our vehicles, we tend to, be at the wrong side, of some of us technicians out there, you get. So, we talked about oil consumption yesterday, and you made us understand that when your vehicle is consuming oil, it actually affects some components in the vehicle. It affects, the PCV valve, you get. It affects the spark plugs, and and for those who actually drive turbocharged vehicles too, they are more on the receiving end, you get it. So you taught us quite a lot, and it was really, really educative. So today I want us to segue into fuel consumption now. Yesterday was oil consumption. Today let's look at fuel consumption, and one of the components. Yeah, we just one. Is it one or two now? Okay, two of the components that I presume or I know that actually affects the consumption of fuel in our vehicles. It's the O2 sensor and the catalytic converter. Am I right, Tokunbo?
Okay, to some extent.
To some extent, okay. Yeah, to some extent. You're my mentor here. So. Today, firstly, when I hear about auto sensors, I used to believe that the auto sensor is going to look like maybe one of this TPMS sensor, this small object kind of, but I was surprised that it actually looks like a plug, a two-ended plug, so that caught me, baffled that is this really a sensor? So now let's look at the auto sensor today vis-a-vis the catalytic converter and how this affects fuel consumption in our vehicles. What we need to do if our vehicle is actually consuming fuel, because you know what it means now to actually buy fuel. Tokunbo, I drove into a filling station on Monday just to get 20,000 fuel. It wasn't even up to half of my tank. You get. So you know what it means. And now if your vehicle is having a defect that is consuming the fuel, the fuel that is so expensive to get now. So we have to just trash this issue. Tokunbo, please help us out.
Okay, first, if we want to talk about fuel consumption, we're going to, if we list out all of the components that cause the vehicle to consume fuel, yes, we'll have the catalytic converter, we'll have the auto sensor and in the list.
Okay.
And there are some other things that can cause the vehicle to consume fuel.
Okay.
You could have the injector nozzle getting stuck open. Now, the injector nozzle is not supposed to be stuck open. It's supposed to open at intervals for fuel to get into the engine's combustion chamber. But by the time the fuel injector is stuck open, maybe because of a failure from the injector or because the computer is malfunctioning and caused the injectors to get stuck open, you'd have fuel getting dumped into the combustion chamber, and it could cause the fuel to consume the vehicle to consume fuel. The vehicle's computer could also cause the vehicle to consume fuel. That's the ECU. It could also be bad and be dumping fuel because the ECU is what really it's a driver for the injectors, so it's the one that switches the injectors open and close, and so it's the ECU. If the ECU malfunctions, it can leave the injector stuck open as well. So talking about the oxygen sensor, now for most vehicles you have 2 oxygen sensors. Depending on the if you have 2 banks, you could be having 4 oxygen sensors if you have 2 different exhausts on the vehicle. So for vehicles with 2 oxygen sensor, let's use that as the baseline. So for vehicles with 2 oxygen sensor, you would have 1 oxygen sensor on the exhaust manifold, then another one after the catalytic converter.
Oh.
So the one that is on the exhaust manifold, some manufacturer will call it air fuel sensor.
Okay.
Now, the job of this particular oxygen sensor is to monitor the gases, to check the oxygen level in the gases that are coming from the combustion chamber.
Okay.
So the burnt gases that you have coming from the combustion chamber, this particular sensor would measure the oxygen level. Now, the essence of, we know that the air that is being used in the engine and that we also take in contains oxygen.
Yes.
So the amount of oxygen in the air tells the computer how much air is getting into the combustion chamber. But you know that the computer is what meters fuel. So the computer will be able to know that, okay, this is the amount of fuel I get into the combustion chamber.
Okay.
So if the O2 sensor is telling me that this is the amount of air that gets into the combustion chamber, it means that the computer would be able to judge if the vehicle at the time they measured the oxygen level is running lean or is running rich. Okay. Now this is the problem. If the O2 sensor, if the engine was actually running adequately, okay, so that means that the right amount of air and fuel is being burnt in the combustion chamber.
Okay.
But the O2 sensor starts to malfunction and gives a computer a feed that the vehicle is running lean. Running lean means that there is more air burning than fuel. So what the computer will just do is, okay, let me adjust to the opening of the injector nozzles to get in more fuel in. But remember, the engine is running adequately. Okay. So by the time the computer adjusts the injector nozzles opening and you have more fuel coming in, the vehicle starts to consume fuel. And all of this starts from an information from the O2 sensor. Okay. So at that time, the O2 sensor is already malfunctioning and it's giving the computer a wrong feed.
Oh, yeah.
So it can cause the vehicle to consume some amount of fuel.
Oh, okay. So what about the catalytic converter? How does it work with the O2 sensor to, manage the situation?
Now, there is another O2 sensor. I mentioned that there are 2 O2 sensors.
Yeah.
Now, the second O2 sensor after the catalytic converter is there to monitor the activity of the catalytic converter.
Okay.
For most vehicles, what the catalytic converter does is break down the emission gases into harmless gases. For most vehicles, you have from the after combustion, you'd have oxides of nitrogen, you'd have hydrocarbon and carbon monoxide get into the exhaust line. Okay. So the job of the catalytic converter is to break down these gases because they are harmful into water and oxygen and maybe nitrogen. So if you now have the catalytic converter maybe not doing its job or it's doing its job well, what this particular O2 sensor is doing is just monitor how well the catalytic converter is doing its job. And give the computer feeds. Okay. So whenever maybe while the catalytic converter is working, you have some exhaust gases pass through, maybe because the catalytic converter is getting blocked or is restricting the flow of exhaust gases. This sensor is what tells the computer what is happening, and you see the computer put up a check engine for 420 P0420, which could be that maybe the catalytic converter is blocked or is cracked or is damaged. So what the computer would just do is put on the fault code, the check light, and you would see the fault code, then you do an inspection to see what exactly is wrong with the catalytic converter. Now, when it comes to fuel consumption, if the catalytic converter is not present in the vehicle, then you can have some level of fuel consumption. Because it's just like you having the catalytic converter's presence in the exhaust line it's a form of restriction to the flow of gases. The flow of gases will not be too much. So if you don't have so much gases burning in the engine, you won't have so much exhaust gases coming out of the engine. But by the time there is free flow of exhaust gases, you'd have so much. You'd have the continuous burning in the engine, because it's the amount of what you burn in the engine that goes out of the exhaust. If there is a restriction in the flow of exhaust gases, then there will be a limit to the way the engine is going to combust gases, which means that if you don't have anything in the exhaust manifold, if it is hollow, you have a lot of exhaust gases burning, which means the engine is going to do more job combusting fuel and air mixture, which invariably burns some amount of fuel. That's why I used to say that the amount of fuel that is being burnt, if there is no catalytic converter in the engine, is not too obvious.
Okay.
The only time you start to notice that your vehicle is consuming fuel is that when there are a number of things working together to consume the fuel.
Wow.
Now, imagine you having no catalyst. Auto sensor 1 is bad, which is the air fuel sensor.
Okay.
You have a blocked air filter.
Interesting.
And the injector nozzle is also stuck open. The vehicle is going to consume incredible amount of fuel.
Okay, thank you so much, Tokunbo. So now, are there vehicles that don't have these two auto sensors? You mentioned that we should begin with, two auto sensors. So are there vehicles that, because, the two have their different functions. Exactly. One reports, reports about the catalytic converter.
The other one.
The first one, measures the oxygen air fuel ratio. Yeah. So are there vehicles that don't have these two? Because now, it's like if any vehicle does not have these two, it's like the process is not complete yet.
Yeah, most vehicles carry two.
Okay.
Though there are some vehicles that will carry three. That was why I said that. Yes.
Okay.
For vehicles that have more than one catalytic converter in their exhaust stream, more than two catalytic converter in the exhaust stream.
Yeah.
Yes, they would have about 3 oxygen sensors. So there will be a third oxygen sensor that monitors the activity of another catalyst in the exhaust line.
Wow.
But for most vehicles, there are 2 oxygen sensors.
Interesting. All right, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. The show is AUTOMEDICS, and we are discussing fuel consumption. So Tokunbo is here giving us that enlightenment. Yes, she has made us understand that the oxygen sensor is very important. If you don't want your vehicle to consume fuel excessively, you must ensure that your auto sensor is perfect. Your auto sensor and your catalytic converter as well. That's the component that helps break down harmful gases, which makes, the gas you release to the atmosphere, make it less toxic. So if you have issues with fuel consumption, please, I need you to actually contact your technician. Let them help you check the auto sensor. So, all right, let's take some updates here. I'm getting this update from our traffic managers. All right, I have that of Maitu. Okay, and I also have the one for Yaba. Okay, Maitu here. It says movement from Ijesha through Second Rainbow to Maitu. Okay, is slow while the return journey is good. And descending Maitu Bridge to Signal Barracks down to Alabasu is a moving traffic, but it's good on the return. All right, Maitu underneath the bridge is good to go down to Doba, but movement is being diverted to the service lane at Doba due to rehabilitation on the expressway. Although they're experiencing good movement now. Okay, Doba down to first gate through Agboju down to Alakija to Abuliado is good to go. Movement around Alakija. All right, that's a Festac side on Alakija Nivi Town is still very much in good shape. The return journey from Abuliado through Alakija to Agboju through Festac first gate is very good, but we have been very busy from Mazamaza Bridge down to Car Wash and all to Signal Barracks due to diversion of traffic and rehabilitation of road on that access. The 4 cardinal angle of Purple Junction, Festac side, Apple Junction Synergy and Agor, and Apple Junction Second Rainbow are all in good shape this beautiful morning. All right, though it says it's flooded. Okay, impediment is still negative while officers are on ground doing the needful. So if you're moving on the stretch, if it's possible for you to avoid flooded areas, please do that. And if you must drive through flood, please make sure you take it slow. Do not accelerate while you're driving through flood. I don't know, Tokunbo is here this morning, so she She will. I don't know, but yeah, I believe I'm right. You shouldn't accelerate when you're driving through floods, right?
Exactly. You don't need to drive on a high speed when going through flooded areas.
Thank you very much for having my back. Okay, now Yaba is slow along Yaba Tech in was Waek as a result of flood occupying half of the road and officers on ground for proper monitoring. So it's flooded around Yaba for those of you making use of that stretch. Please keep it within speed limits. If you want to maintain your car this season, please try to drive slowly when you are in flood. Try to drive slowly. Do not accelerate when you're driving through flood. And if it's possible for you to just avoid any flooded area, I think that's better. Just to keep your vehicle in good shape so you don't spend money unnecessarily. Okay, so let's see what we have from our live screen here in the building. Okay. Most areas within Lagos, from what I can see here, is quite good. It's rained at the early hours of this morning, and some areas are flooded. Like we got that report from our traffic managers around Yaba. So if you're not driving around flooded areas, just make sure you still keep it within speed limit. Okay, and I see here Alapere is looking quite good here. It's no longer raining, and I cannot see any flood around that corridor. So it's a breeze all the way on the return journey too. Okay, but I see a bit of influx there, or it's not busy. It's a breeze. It's moving well. That's on Alapere access, Alapere connecting Apostolic Church, and also all the way to Auto Gate. We have it quite good there. All right. Let's move on to Obafemi Awolowo Way. Okay, it's looking quite good as well. Yes, things are working in good order, and we have personnel, also on ground doing the needful. Those trying to, connect Alausa, right, and those who are also maybe moving towards Ikeja underneath the bridge, and also on the return, those who are trying to connect Wenko, Aromiri, I beg your pardon, and those who are trying to connect Kudirat Abiola, where we have it all good. Side traffic light alternating in most of those areas. So just ensure you obey traffic laws. That's all. Okay, and all right. I also see that Ikeja Plaza roundabout. Okay, is also looking good. All right, no cause for worries there too. Latif Jakonde was Wemco, also looking quite good. To have last month officials there. Okay. We have them, doing their job. Yeah. Okay, let's also see Mobolaji Johnson Avenue. All right, it's also looking quite good for those trying to connect 7 Up. Yeah, just ensure you obey that traffic light there. Okay, and also those who are trying to connect the express from that stretch, those trying to connect lands, we have it good as well. No breakdowns, no hazards, nothing to worry about. The stretch of Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, I beg your pardon, is also looking quite good. All right, Secretariat bus stop is looking good. Officers doing their job. And everything is still cool and calm. Yes, it's a wet Wednesday morning, and it's also looking cool out there. So you don't need to make use of your AC. Tokunbo. That's one of the good parts. Each time it rains, I know I'm not going to use my AC. You just have to just run down your windows, and good to go. So it's cool to have it raining sometimes, but it has its other sides too. Let's just manage the situation, and let everybody be fine. Okay, so 09153 009-9120-000 and 091-538-77127. These numbers get you here. Okay, so let's take some questions. You can keep your questions coming. Yes, we are very much here in the building, yes, to help you resolve them. This person sent a code, and it says, does this code make my vehicle consume fuel? What do I do to it? Okay, so Kumbo, the code is P0.
Vehicle first.
Okay, vehicle. Yes, you didn't tell us the type of car you drive, mister. But okay, he didn't tell us, but now
Okay, let's get
I'm
the code
expecting him to actually send it. So let's take the code P0135.
P0135.
Yes, P0135. Please, I know you're online. Please kindly send the type, model of that car to me. Okay, it says undercore 2005.
Okay.
Raphael. Go on. Yes, P0135.
Is that all?
Yes, that's all. Okay, here P0135 and also have P0511. Pardon me.
Okay.
Idle air control circuit malfunction. That's P0511. And P0135 says fault. No, I can't see.
I
don't
think
know
it's
what is
auto
this.
sensor.
Okay.
135 would have to do with auto sensor related fault code.
Okay.
Well, I need to confirm. Yeah. So P0135 is auto sensor. It's a circuit malfunction bank 1 sensor 1.
Okay.
And this is the F4 sensor on the vehicle. So if it's malfunctioning, it could cause the vehicle to consume fuel or some amount of fuel. So you could have your technician do an inspection on the sensor and see if the connection to the sensor is okay. If the sensor's connection is poor, you would not, or you have the computer complain about it. Maybe there's corrosion buildup on the connectors, or probably the sensor itself is bad. And there are times that you would have a lot of carbon buildup on the sensor. When you remove the sensor from its from the exhaust manifold, you see that it has a lot of carbon buildup, and this would also cause it not to do its job. So it's best for you to have your technician do an inspection on the sensor. If it's a replacement that needs to be done, you can go ahead and do a replacement. But yes, it's possible for the sensor to cause fuel consumption. Then for the P0551 idle air control malfunction, I don't know if the vehicle is having any idle control problem. Maybe at low speed the idle is malfunction. The vehicle is not idling properly. What you can do is do a service first on the throttle body. If the service on the throttle body has been done and you still have this problem, then the idle air control valve would need to be replaced. There are times that you might have to replace the complete throttle body unit as a whole.
Okay. All right, 09153877127. Yes, I'm calling the number now. 09153877127. I hope you got that. Yes, someone just sent me a message that it needs the number to call in. 09153877127. Can also send us a message. You can send your message via our WhatsApp platform as well, as we have 009. Now you're here already. You're on WhatsApp. So if it's much easier for you, to send a message, please go ahead and do that. All right. Okay. So I drive a Mitsubishi Endeavor 2004 model, front wheel drive only. Okay. And it says there's a human noise around the transmission. As the speed increases, the noise also increases. I've changed the axle and the shaft, and I've also done wheel balancing, yet the humming still persists.
Okay, if you're experiencing a humming sound on the vehicle, I think the first thing you want your technician to do is have an inspection done on the wheel hub. Most times, once there is a problem with the wheel hub, you'd have humming sound in the vehicle as your vehicle increases. So what I would advise you do is have your technician do an inspection on the wheel hub. It doesn't have to necessarily bring out the wheel hub. You can check with the tires to see if you have clearance in the wheel hub. If there are clearance in the wheel of the wheel hub, then you might need to do a replacement to resolve the problem.
Okay. I drive a Toyota RAV4 2008 V6. I noticed when driving, hot water drops on my foot, and while on the accelerator pedal, I scanned and I got code P0456 and P0304. After I observed when topping the coolant, it will start coming out from the AC during hose under the vehicle. How do I fix it?
Okay, what the person is experiencing is a leak in the evaporator. And so coolant is leaking from, a leak in the heater core. I'm so sorry about that. Coolant from the radiator flows through the engine. From the engine, it flows through in the heater core. So the heater core is leaking, and that's why you have hot water getting into the dropping on the foot, as well as dropping under the vehicle from the drain pipe. So an inspection into the heater core can be done, but most times you will have to access the heater core from the dashboard. So I think you would have your technician prepare for a replacement before you do any of such repairs. So you might need to plan for a replacement before they open up the dashboard to get access to the heater core.
All right. Yes, if you called me earlier, please try to make it back. Yeah, anytime Tokunbo is trying to enlighten us, I don't like, interjecting, so she does not lose her trail of thought. You know what it means, to speak, by heart. She's not looking at anything. She's, releasing these things as they come, you understand? So I usually don't like interrupting her. Okay, this person says, please, can your guest throw more light on the belief that the use of AC consumes fuel in the car? Okay,
when it comes to that, when it comes to AC and fuel consumption, I think what most of us, what I used to say is that everything you have on the vehicle is a load. The power steering, the alternator, the AC itself, the AC compressor itself, because all of these things, all of these things, a load, an electrical load, yes, the radio. Okay. But what I'm saying is that the ones that are actually taking power directly from the engine, those are the ones that are driven by the drive belt that some persons calls the fan belt. Okay. Now you have the power steering pump around that area, you have the alternator, and you have the compressor. All of these things are driven by the drive belt. So if you have the AC on and the AC is working, the compressor is working, the crankshaft is turning the compressor. At that time, it's a load. So every load on the vehicle will be compensated for, and the amount of fuel that the load would take would be calculated over the use of the vehicle. Now, if you say that the AC is causing the vehicle to consume fuel, why not say that you don't want to use the you want to disconnect the alternator and let it not charge the battery? I'm just trying to say, it's because we all have the option of trying to put on the AC or put it off. That's why we assume that it's consuming fuel. Okay. The AC does not consume fuel on the vehicle, though I have mentioned it one day that if you are in extended traffic, say the traffic is extending for maybe 2 to 3 hours. Now, and you have your AC on all through. Okay. At this time, the engine's crankshaft is not turning at its maximum speed, and so there is more load of the AC on the vehicle, and so the vehicle tends to consume some amount of fuel. But if you are going on high speed, you don't consume much fuel with the AC. Okay. So it's best for you to use the AC. It's best for you to use the AC. Use it, because now if you have the windows rolled down, there is more air in the cabin, and this air will cause drag. Drag on the vehicle increases fuel consumption. So it's better to use this. It's better. This reminds me of what Dr. Kunle actually said. When was it? I think earlier this year when they increased the price of fuel, I was, complaining to him that, and it's quite sunny now. I don't know how I'm going to use my AC because I want to manage this fuel in my car. And it was making me, I said, using your AC does not really have too much effect on your fuel. You understand? So it was then I realized that, really? He said, yes, you can use your AC, that it's just a little. It's just going to take a little from it. So it's not as if it's going to, consume so to go up the fuel. Exactly. If you don't have any fuel economy problem on the vehicle, exactly, your AC is not what is consuming the fuel. All right. Okay, it's AUTOMEDICS on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Okay, yes, getting heads up from traffic managers. It's from Igondo now. The traffic situation around Igondo says movement from Isheri roundabout along Lasso Igondo Road down to Power Line, Diamond Estate, Idowegba, Odoero Hotel, Lanre
Okofilin General Hospital, Alajede College, Igondo Phase 1 and 2 towards Somolade, Olorunfemi Akeson, Afolabi is good to go. And also on the return journey, it's looking perfect. So moving from Ikotu, Igondo Road down to Old Garage, connecting Ikotu intersection, linking Ijegun, Abaroja Road is also good. Okay, the journey is in good condition, according to our traffic managers. Moving from Ikotu roundabout along Ikotu, Idimo Road down to Governor Road, connecting Council roundabout towards Idimo. En route to Sherry roundabout is good to go. And also on the return journey. So impediment is negative for now. Thank you so much, traffic managers, for this update. All right, let's take more questions from WhatsApp. All right, keep the calls coming. You can call us on 091-538-77127 and send a message to us on WhatsApp on 009-9120-777. All right, this is a Toyota Camry 2005. It says, my radiator cover always rusts. I was told to wash the radiator. I washed the radiator and bought a new cover after 2 months, and the cover got rusted again. Please, will it affect my engine? Yeah, Tokunbo, please, you need to come to our aid here.
Okay, the radiator cover is always getting rust.
Yes.
What are you using in the radiator? Is it coolant or water?
Apparently, it seems to me like it's water.
So one thing is that once you have water in the radiator, then you would have the cover, because the cover is made up of more of metal, and so you would have some form of rust form on the cover. Though this would not affect the engine. The engine would not get rust because of the material the engine is made of. But one thing is that you would also have the internals of the radiator get rust because of the presence of water in the radiator, and if it gets access to air, and there's no way you would not open the radiator, so you'd have air get access into the radiator, and this would also cause rust in the radiator. So that's why we used to recommend that you use coolant instead of water in the engine. Having coolant there is going to protect the radiator, prevent it from rust. And if eventually you have any form of leak, the coolant contains some form of dye which would make you see where the leak is being experienced because of the stain of the dye around the cooling system. So to prevent rust on the radiator cap, I think it's time we start to use coolant.
Okay, to prevent rust on your radiator cap, please start using coolants. This is from Tokunbo, not me. Well, I use coolant. yeah, I use coolant. So, okay. So let's move on. I'll try to use coolant because sometimes it's better to be penny wise, not to be penny wise, because a lot of times when you use this water now and you have issues with rust, you have to deal with it. And I know what it means to deal with rust. I've dealt with it in the past. So I'm talking from experience. Okay, so this question is from someone who drives a Hyundai Elantra 2009. He says engine oil is flashing. I've checked the sump and I've changed the oil filter and it's still flashing. What is the problem?
So if you have the engine like flashed, it has changed the oil filter. Is it the external oil filter or the one that is inside the engine, which is the strainer filter?
Okay.
If the strainer filter is clogged, it will cause the engine oil to flash. Also, don't forget that you might also be having a problem with this oil pressure switch itself. So if the oil pressure switch is also failing, it could also cause that. So it's best for you to have your technician first inspect the filter in the engine, that's the strainer filter, as well as also have your technician check the condition of the engine.
I have a question.
Good morning to you.
Hello?
Good morning. Yes, we can hear you. Go on.
Good morning. Yes, sir. I want to ask this question. I use automatic car transmission. So even when it's in the hold up, I did advise that you don't want to not put it in the factory. Or when one is at a special, one is at home. it should be illusion, what have you. But if one is in a serious traffic gridlock, which position should one put the automatic transition? That is one. Then one is warming the car in the morning. Which position should one put the automatic transition? Thank you. Good morning.
Okay. First, I would say that most times we don't. I used to say that there's no need for you to warm the engine in the morning when you start. But if you want to start your engine and you want to warm it, yes, you can leave the vehicle in park. If it's in park, there's no problem. You can run the engine with your transmission in park. Then when you're about to move, you move it in your drive. That's the deal. But if you're in traffic and you say, okay, you're considering maybe the traffic is a long traffic and it's something that is going to take a while, you can take it from park and put it in neutral for some time, and then you can also put it in park. But ideally, if it's not something that is going to take long for a while, it's not going to take long. Maybe it's just a stoplight. You can leave it in drive, hold on to your brake for the time that you're going to, because shifting through shifters, shifting the drive, the shift lever constantly could also cause problems with the park and neutral switch.
Okay, all right. Apologies, callers. We have to switch to Lagvis. Lagvis is here. Yes. So it's Lagvis segment on AUTOMEDICS, and I have Damilola Banjoko in the bit. I wanted to say Abike.
I can understand.
I'm sorry about it.
That's fine.
Okay, so Damilola Banjoko is here in the building. She is the corporate communications manager for Lagvis. She's here this morning to tell us about our vehicles too. You know, how to ensure your vehicle. All right, and how to also pass your tests. Yes, your computerized inspection test at Lagvis. You know, but we started the conversation. We kicked it off on Monday. So we're talking about the vehicle owners checklist. So she's going to conclude on that now, and if time permits, also look at the various defects in our vehicles, and the need for you as a vehicle owner to inspect your vehicle at Lagvis. So I don't know if time permits us to discuss all of this morning. Damilola, quickly, let's go. Let's set ball rolling.
Good morning, beautiful Lagosians. Good
Yes.
morning, Madam Ronke.
Good morning to you.
Madam Tokunbo. It's good to be here.
Okay.
Good morning.
Yes, thank you very much. So, as we were discussing last week, so I went for a conference yesterday. It was a transport summit organized by Lamata.
Okay.
And even the deputy governor, Dr. Hamzat, he was telling all participants at the event on the need to, let me first advertise traffic radio. He was telling them that they have to listen to traffic radio.
They just
They're number one.
Yes, we are.
Why am I saying this? Lagvis has been talking about Lagos computerized. We have been talking about ourselves on this AUTOMEDICS show for years. And any motorist that doesn't tune in from 11 to 12 to listen to our show,
they'll be fine.
We are supposed to find them. But let's not take it to that level. Let's forgive them.
Let's forgive
I'm sure that as they are listening to me now, they'll be intentional and conscious about listening to our radio show.
Exactly.
From 11 to 12. Now, what am I trying to say? That's just by the way. Good morning once again.
Yeah, welcome.
I would like to remind us on the need to always stay guarded, stay safe while we are driving our cars.
Okay.
I've always said it that we do not have a replacement to life when it's lost.
Not at all.
And we should always ensure that we bear in mind that safety, you have to be very intentional about being safety conscious, being a safety personnel, own your right to know that you should do the right things at the right time. At Lagos Computerized Inspection, I think the place where we stopped was where we were discussing the reason why some people always like to get scared or fear coming to Lagos. And I've said it. I said it last on Monday. And
Fear
I'm
of
still going
impoundment.
Yes, there is nothing of such nature when it comes to our computerized inspection center. It's a world. We are not in a military regime. It's a world where you can drive in your car. You will drive in your car. You will tell us you want to renew your documents.
Okay.
But we'd give you a referral note. I'm trying to brief Lagosians on the process of getting this done.
The seamless
so
process.
If you are going through another means, Sama, know that you are doing the wrong thing.
Okay.
Or you are going through. So this is it. You drive or walk into any of the land use inspection center or the VIS office across Lagos. You tell any of the officers in uniform, please, that you want to renew your RWC certificate, that's your road and license certificate. They are going to attend to you and they are going to give you what we call a referral note. That referral note, by the way, is uploaded on our social media pages. After I'm going to be calling our social media handle so you could just check it out, check what it looks like. On the information on that referral note is going to state the inspection center you be allocated to, the time you should go to, and also every other information, the kind of capacity of car you own, and also any other information that is relevant. Now, all you need to do is just to come at the time when you've been given to go to. So now, some people, they usually do this, they usually make this mistake of going when they were not scheduled to.
Okay.
Yes. And when you go, they'll be like, they're not attending to me, or you've been here for a while. Some people have been booked for that center. So there is no how they're going to overrule that and attend to you that was not even booked for the center. Take, for instance, you have been scheduled to go to Alausa by 9 p.m. You are now going to Ojota by 2 o'clock. And you want them to attend to you. Mind you, some people are already in
there. Yes.
They are in the queue to be attended to. So are they supposed to override? Then you now start complaining. You hear people throwing tantrums on social media. We know we have a right
maybe they are VIPs and they believe it's about your status in society.
There's also something about
you need to also correct that
there's
too.
something about equity. We are all humans and
Yes.
we deserve equal rights.
Okay.
VIP or no VIP. The government has understood the fact that everybody is equal. We are all equal before the government. So just do the right things and you'll be properly attended to, of course. So that's why I keep saying that. I'm saying this because we got some information that I stayed for 5 hours at the center. I was like, no, it's not possible. We won't keep you waiting in the test center for 5 hours. How?
That long.
When the man now confirmed, he said, okay, send your referral note. You said what was on your referral was Alausa Center. You now went to Jota. How is it possible? It was even 9 o'clock to come in Alausa Center. You now went to Jota around after 2. And you want them to attend to you and leave there in 10 minutes. That's not possible. The special process itself takes just about 15 minutes.
Okay.
Yes. To run, what do we check again? We check the lights. I mentioned that last week. It's very important.
Okay.
Your brake lights, both the front and the rear. Your parking lights, make sure that they are in good condition. If the bulbs are burnt, please ensure you change it. Your brakes are very important. Key. Yes, I mentioned the essentials you should have in your car. The extinguishers, I mentioned the need to have them. But what I didn't mention was the tire. The tire is also very important. Your tire. Some people have expired tires on the wheel of their cars. Some people have worn out tires. The tire depth of some vehicles, you can't even imagine. Even if you want to sell the tires, nobody will buy it for 25 naira. So
we have less than 2 minutes.
I'm already enjoying this gist now. Okay. See, and we'll continue our conversation on
Monday, by God's grace.
But I think I'm going to come with the CEO, that's Engineer Edward Lab. He's not a stranger to the house.
Sure.
To give us some more technical, to give us the technical advice, tips, and information we need. However, before then, some people are saying that your test centers are not enough. I want you to relax. Everybody, we are going to get to everybody. We're ready to everybody. I think for now we have
somebody Damilola, please, before
somebody's
wrap
asking a
up.
question.
Yeah, I did my test in one of your centers and I passed, but I was not issued my certificate with excuse that it's finished. It's been 2 weeks now and I've not gotten it. We cannot, I don't know if can you respond to this quickly because of our
yes,
time?
I would like to know the test center if I don't know if it's somebody if you can ask him what test center is it so I can
which test center? Can you quickly respond?
Which test center is that?
Did you visit?
Yes.
Okay, it says Ojota.
Okay. I'm going to call my phone number, so please ensure you call
Let's have
us.
the number. Let's have the number now.
Yes, 081 86797196. 081 86797196. Please, I don't know if it's a Sarima. Please do call that number. I'm going to attend to you immediately after this program.
All right. So quickly, your social
media our test centers first. We are located at
you cannot tell us. You cannot give us the list of your test center. Just give us your social media handles.
Okay.
Sorry, but no time is up.
You can reach us on that number I just called now.
Okay.
Or on our social media at official Lagvis on Instagram, on X, and also on Facebook, Lagos Computerized Vehicle Inspection Service. The Lagos Computerized Vehicle Inspection Service. That's our social media.
Thank you so much, Damilola.
It's not good that you're rushing me.
Thank you, Damilola Banjoko, for your time. Thank you for coming. She is the corporate communications manager for LAFIS, and she's here alongside Joyce. Okay, Joyce Ayi, yes, the digital and traditional media team lead. So she's here as a support, yes, to Damilola. And I'll say a very big thank you to Tokunbo Adegoju as well from AUTOMEDICS Africa Limited. Thank you for joining us on the show. Big up to our social media team of Show. And I will say a very big thank you to Terry Victor and our executive producer, Istayo Akone. My name is Aderonke Irewole. The show will continue tomorrow. I'm out, and to see you again on Monday.
People should brace Latin and pull a capacity to my mind to Paco. We have to run to one of Usamo. If you want to come up for us and you won't go out inside Odo, tune in to 96.1 FM. That's traffic radio. Come on, Washington. And then to one of Kamalashino. Be about here.
When I say I love you, I love the way you stare. I love how it hurts you when I cry. When I say I miss you, my nights are cold and lonely. My days are dark without your light. But your love is like wine. I know time only makes it much stronger. And your love has no fear. Every kiss from you